Most people think taking a cold shower after a workout helps burn more fat. But what if it's actually doing something completely different? And in some cases, even slowing down your results. Because cold exposure does affect your body, just not in the way most people think. Cold showers, ice baths, ice bucket challenges, cold plunges, they've exploded in popularity. You see athletes doing it, influencers recommending it, people claiming it, melts fat, speeds recovery, boosts metabolism. And technically, some of that is true, but the real story is much more interesting. Because when you step into cold water, your body shifts into a completely different mode. What happens immediately? The second cold water hits your skin, your body reacts fast. Your blood vessels tighten. Your heart rate increases. Your breathing becomes rapid. This is called vasoconstriction, your body pulling blood toward your core to protect vital organs. At the same time, your nervous system fires up. Here is a wild fact. Cold exposure can increase norepinephrine, a hormone that boosts alertness and focus by up to 200 to 300%. That's why after a cold shower you feel awake, alert, energized. It's not just in your head, it's a real physiological response. The fat-burning claim. Now let us talk about the big claim. Cold showers burn fat faster. There is some truth here. Cold exposure activates something called brown fat. Unlike regular fat, which stores energy, brown fat burns calories to generate heat. This process is called thermogenesis. Fun fact, babies have a lot of brown fat to keep them warm, but adults still have small amounts, especially around the neck and upper back. When exposed to cold, this brown fat becomes more active, and yes, it burns calories. But expectations need to be realistic. Studies show the increase in calorie burn is relatively small. We are talking about maybe 50 to 100 extra calories, not hundreds. So while cold exposure can support fat burning, it is not a shortcut. It is more like a small boost. The big mistake people make. Now here's where things get really interesting. After a workout, your body is trying to adapt. Muscles are slightly damaged, and that's a good thing because that damage signals your body to repair, rebuild, come back stronger. This process requires inflammation. Not bad inflammation, but controlled, temporary inflammation that drives growth. Now think about what cold exposure does. It reduces inflammation, which sounds great. But here is the twist. Some research shows that using cold exposure immediately after strength training can reduce muscle protein synthesis, the process responsible for building muscle. Translation: you might feel better faster, but you could be limiting muscle growth. Recovery versus results. So now we have a trade-off. Cold showers can reduce soreness, decrease inflammation, help you feel recovered, but they may also reduce muscle building signals, limit long-term strength gains. That is why many high-level athletes do not use cold exposure randomly. They use it strategically. For example, after competitions, during intense training blocks, when recovery matters more than growth. Here are some mental benefits. Now let's talk about something most people overlook. Cold showers train your mind. That moment when you step into freezing water, everything in your body wants to step out, but you don't. That builds something powerful. Discipline, stress tolerance, mental resilience. And over time, this translates into real-world benefits. You become better at handling discomfort, not just physically, but mentally. Here are surprising facts people don't know. Here are a few things most people don't realize. Cold exposure may improve insulin sensitivity, helping your body manage blood sugar better. It can stimulate the vagus nerve, which helps regulate stress and promote relaxation after the initial shock. It may even improve mood by increasing dopamine levels, sometimes by up to 250% in certain studies. And interestingly, people who regularly expose themselves to cold often report feeling less stressed over time, not more. But here's the limitation. Even with all these benefits, cold showers are not a fat loss solution. You cannot out-train a bad diet. And you definitely cannot outshower one. Fat loss still comes down to total calorie balance, consistency, training habits. Cold exposure is just a tool, not the main driver. When you should use cold showers can be useful if you are very sore, you train frequently, you want faster recovery, you want a mental boost, but you may want to avoid them immediately after workouts. If your goal is muscle growth, you are focused on strength gains, a smarter approach. Use cold exposure later in the day or on rest days. That way, you get the benefits without interfering with adaptation. Final takeaway: cold showers are not magic, but they are powerful. Used correctly, they can improve recovery, boost energy, enhance mental resilience, slightly support metabolism. Used incorrectly, they can reduce muscle building signals, interfere with your training goals. So the real question is not, do cold showers burn fat? It is, are you using them at the right time? Because most people are focusing on the wrong thing entirely. If this helped, hit like, subscribe, and comment which exercise was hardest for you. And remember, when it comes to diet and exercise, there are no gimmicks, just results. Visit the diet and exercise website in the comments below. We did the research for you, and we sorted out items that are evidence-backed and lab-tested to get results. Thanks for tuning in.